One.
Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader and coach at TradeView Markets. It was a busy weekend, continuing to a busy morning. Okay. Let's sign into TradeGATEHub because this is a Monday, the beginning of the week, and I have a fiduciary responsibility, if you will, to any newer members to go through the routine to get it right. As new mining goes negative. The rotation was proper today. Okay. I urge everybody to do one thing, one thing for two reasons. First of all, go to the Red YouTube channel, listen to what Coach had to say at 9:30. That's what I'm going to do. Already had 81 viewers. And by the way, that's a lot of viewers, more than usual for this time of day. Bravo. And you know what? I understand that when there's the more uncertainty there is, the more that there's a herd mentality and you want high level opinions. And I applaud both Coach and anybody all the viewers that were there because they're in the right area. You know, we might not always get it right, but we're close. And if we don't, we know where to go. With that being said, thank you. So go to Coach's video. And you know what? The past videos that I did for the week are carried over to what's happening today, consisting of what happened with the banking system and Credit Suisse. All right, so let's go back to the routine. I posted majority of things last evening so everybody can get a clear picture of what's going on. Or devise a better plan, if you will. Okay, so let's start what I started posting last evening. Always with the lean charts. Okay, put charts on this. These are the macro pictures. So what I like to do is on a Sunday evening before I started doing this, posting the data. I have a crew. I have a group of guys that I confer to. I get on a conference call, we talk, and then we start developing a plan. Go through some stock ideas. And then I saw the futures open up at 6 p.m. Eastern. And my freaking coffee. 6 p.m. Eastern. And they opened up. They opened up like 30, maybe 28 to 30 handles. The most of the upper 40 handles. And then they slowly dissipated or leaked, as you will, throughout the evening. And it's really intensified with China opening. PDD had earnings, which, by the way, almost rallied about $10. So I digress. This is the macro view. I like to take a bigger picture of where things are and then narrow it down to, my plan, my focus, what I'm good at, and how I can pull money out of the market. It's my job. It's not really my job to be right all the time. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I get lucky. I digress again. Okay, so pictures on the XBI, Biotech, XLI, the Indu, XLV Healthcare. Go through all the charts. And then what I do is after I go through the charts, then I go through their respective best of breeds in the stock they're acting poorly. And then I see, if there are more best of breeds in that respecting group acting very poorly, then I know the group is a little bit in trouble. And by the way, I will jump ahead because this is probably one of the better things that I've been posting lately. And what I just repeated is basically in a graph or whatever you want to call it right here. Percentage of large cap stops trading above their moving averages. Okay, if you remember Wednesday, everything was in the deep red. So as we went to Friday evening, and I posted this as Friday's closed, utilities are better, information technology is better. What was on the lowest? The industrials actually is still acting poorly. So basically that's the picture. And you know what? The more red, the worse. The more green, the better. Actually, if whatever type of trader you are, if you see that there's still not that many groups that are there's still a decent 50% of the stocks hanging around their 200-day moving average. It's your job to click and go to consumer discretionary and see which ones you go through the charts are holding up the best. That's part of my homework. Let's go back. Wolf. Oh, Wolf, they got me. Okay. So. Ending with lean charts. And by the way, let me just make this. I know times I'm chained. As Foot Locker, it goes negative. Good call, Gerard. Gerard called. Oh, I'll get there. Gerard called this Foot Locker had earnings. It wasn't acting very well, and he was right. It just went negative after being up what? I think it was up 6 or 7 points. It was definitely up at least 10, 12%. All right. A good trader, Anthony Crudell, one of the better ones. Go look at his bio. He's got whatever. I don't know if it goes by followers, but he's got the right amount of followers. So read this. And it basically said to what I said last week is that I read a lot. Also, a lot of the time I'm a voracious reader. And this is the most important. When I read all week, and I implore all to watch the latest video. No one knows what's going to happen. I try not to build an opinion on what's going on with the market in general. As you could see, very fractionally, very rarely, if at all, do I even have cues or play the market in general. To me, I learned the lesson, and I'm not going to pontificate. I completely understand why people trade the futures and the market. I get it. It's not for me. Quite honestly, I got a good idea what's going on. It's just not. I just found myself not being. Look at Disney. So I don't have an opinion on the banks. I'm not going to let my opinions on what's going on. I did give my opinion late Friday evening or Friday on the video about what's going to happen. And listen, I'm not splitting atom. A lot of people think the same way. So with that being said, it's harder to break an opinion than a bad trading habit. And if they had an opinion on which way the market, these banks are going to do or whatever, you're going to miss the turn. And you're basically going against what really keeps you in an active, profitable day trader or risk manager in the market, is that you have to recognize that price action trumps sentiment. Put the opinion aside. You know what I mean? Treat it like what Anthony's saying is, when you took a halftime break at lunch, and I used to play cards every day, June, it was splitting the day up in two. It's almost like when you paid up, or when everybody paid me the money that they owed me from playing gin. I said, okay, what has good range, good volume, and good price action as of this day? I still do that to this day. So try not to try not to get it caught up in the rhetoric. Sentiment, it's a tool. Obviously, we're oversold coming in this morning. We're down 4 or 5 handles. Now we're up 3 handles on the futures. So Goldman Sachs, always CDS, they're playing a part now. The majority the majority of the data that I do put out, I try not to really have an opinion about. I mean, am I going to step on the Bank of America guys that does systematic flows and tell him he's wrong? I mean, maybe if I did a thesis, I could come over and have some cracks, but I always do give out the research without opinion, and I'm always open for questions afterwards, if you will. So that's what Bank of America said. CTA positioning gold, due for arrest. Crude, first one, it got up at 401. I was putting in bids at crude when it was down 3% this morning. So as CTAs and crude were very underweight, crude, so I took a shot at a squeeze. It is over? Certainly not. Crude's almost unchanged to a degree. The stocks are acting better. Stocks lead the commodity than crude. I'll show my screen right here briefly, just to make one very good trading point that is still timeless, just like reminiscence of a stock operator. Crude have a nice move from 57 to 58, but it's basically unchanged. USO I follow. Stocks are acting very well. EOG, APA acting well, but it's still below the moving average. Probably, you know what? APA, I don't know. Stock picking. Okay, it formed that base with volume. I wouldn't be surprised if it broke 33. I wouldn't be surprised if it broke a new low. APA, just trade it. There's my group of oils. I always post my universe that morning. So everybody's not just saying, where's he getting these ideas from? Let me go to my stock universe or show you that I posted this morning. Pardon. I did. Oh, it's in this room, the main room. Several rooms. There's my universe. So I posted. This is what I look at. The stocks that are hot for the day, I usually post on the right. To no surprise, FRC, WAL, and the rest of the crew. So let me finish the routine, because I want to get into direct trades. But the reason why I have to finish this, and I'm not apologizing completely, is because Monday is the routine day, and I always point people to watch the Monday video. So if I go right into trading, that's unfair. Who likes to practice? When whatever sports I did in school, who likes to scrimmage? You know what I mean? I know how to pass. I know how to make a layup. I want to play the game. But you know what? When it comes time to game time, and to make the real game shot, it pays off after all these years doing the fundamentals. So I'm going to keep doing them. Okay. Major screen here. Here we go. All right. Goldman Sachs color. I don't have an opinion. This is what Goldman Sachs is saying. CDS, Bank of America, positioning gold, crude, like I said, minis, NAS, they're definitely stretched, but they're continuing to stretch today. But there's it's let me give you this is what the rotation is. All last week it was Apple, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. Microsoft's down 7 now. Now they're taking the smaller ones up. Last week it was the best of breeds. Now they're taking up the other. It's very odd. Very odd. That's why I don't have an opinion. I'm here to trade the price action. I love it. I'm upset that the VIX came down a little bit today, but Coach probably went over that on his 9:30 video, so I'm not going to waste the time. Goldman sentiment indicator bullish. They took a move, they listen, this is also an example. They were basically almost evenly positioned and then they made the jerk move lower. Let's go to hedge funds. They did the same thing. Where's my hedge fund chart? It's got to be here, or else I'm not doing my job properly. Where's my hedge fund chart? Where are the hedge funds? Hi, Lewis. Fear, greed. The Bitcoin fear, greed. Market fear, greed. That's abating a little, washing out a little bit because there's a lot of green on the screen. Doesn't matter that the mega caps are running to. You know what? Where did I post this thing? By the way, chart for the week, earnings for the week. Walmart again, Lewis is still selling it. Another week of relentless selling from Waltons. Unless they're buying a sports team, there's trouble at Walmart. GLD chart, Morgan Stanley note, Mike Wilson, he's flipping all over the place. Sentiment, panic, euphoria. I don't know how I don't have this, the hedge fund exposure. Boy, that's a you know what? I'll get it to you right now. Because as you saw, Goldman was in and out. This is going to happen here. I want to make a point of what the hedge funds are doing. It's basically a major part of my plan. Credit that's bullish. They're coming off with credit a little bit. With WPM, yes, we know it's a little overbought. You bastard, we missed it. But GOLD is acting well. Baidu taking some calls. G Money. Where's my charts? I want to make my point. Hedge funds. Listen, I got to cut my losses at some time if I don't get it. It's right here. I feel it. All right. Hedge funds. Stock bond ratio. Usually it comes in bunches. It's this guy. CD spreads. Interesting. Not hedge funds. Here we are. Who's that? New stocks, new high lows, S&P weekly lows, major S&P sectors. So listen, this is part of my routine, and there's a lot of data, and it's my job to disseminate which is more important and which isn't. I'm trying to make things simple as possible. Everybody seems to be getting it. Hedge funds, they press their gold shorts. All right. So there's the hedge funds. Whenever time they make that dip, see, whenever time they go down, gold goes up. So you know what? That's the trade. It looks like with a type of going forward. Here's the Goldman sentiment. This is part of my routine. There's the CTA sentiment that I post. For some reason, there's also the Bank of America credit default swaps. I got to cut the loss. 1, 2, 3. I don't know. The hedge funds aren't there. I'll get it. But believe me, they're doing exactly what Goldman is doing. They're going in and out. They don't even know what to do. All right. So loss. You know what? I let my loss run. Okay. Any questions? CS bearish action. Might as well give you the hot flow now. CS bearish, no interest. C bearish, interesting. April 23rd puts in the money. GLD, size, some spreads going off. Could be position adjustments. They probably, I understand. GLD May calls. GLD June. They showed it. GLD bullish, May 23. SPY bearish. IWM. What's this? No man's land, stock picking. 170 to 176. Although it is on a downside 9, I have no interest in stepping in front of it. Leave it there, guys. All right. Any questions, Lewis? Talk to me. TradeGATEHub. All right. So nothing really here. The one only bull betting with some. Here you go. I'll leave it at this. I'll even post it now. The only bull betting with some of the time behind it has been the miners, and some of it can be rolling some off in his name. So I'll give Jesus and by the way, I am a practicing Catholic, so I'm not being sacrilegious. Jesus in the financial terms is different than the higher power. You know what I'm saying? All right. So what else? WPM, Baidu. This is repetitory. CI, Marvell, not interested. CAT, nothing. Credit spreads confirm a little relief on their own. Look for credit to continue to firm up. Met with call sweepers. You want them to back it up. That's what you want them to do. All right, heavy first hour volume in BE, not interested. TP pass. I posted that, and I should. That was the one. Oh, the market pulling back. I'm gonna have to giddy up. The biggest flow that I did see. And by the way, I've been telling you all week to watch JP Morgan stock. That is the gauge. But what did I say? Pass calls, and that was an hour ago, 2 hours, whatever. Lighting up the board. So sometimes you might not be able to read it. I typed fast, and you saw that all those option sweeps that I saw. But like I said, it's my job when a stock is acting well, when they're starting to back it up with the calls going out, that's a good play for me. You know, I'm not going to micromanage that thing. I like a decent entry. The market still is volatile, but when I have that type of flow and I have the moving averages backing and the trend, I feel better, and that could lead me more to, more active trading. It's what I do. Okay, so leave it there. Here's my main screen. Obviously, FRC's in play. FRC made a nice trade today. There's my positions. FRC. Here are some of my positions. Lithium. Am I up in lithium? No. FRC. Yeah, daily P&L on FRC. I took 10,000 in FRC, didn't I? No. Wall. See this wall? Friday evening, they came out and said they were solvent and everything. And wall never broke down that low. I was watching. I only had 1,400 shares. But I was selling in the morning. So I was looking at, not only, you always look for the best of breed, how it's doing in the sector that's breaking down, and the best of the worst speculative stocks. And see this FRC, I traded it. It was, it's the worst one. Obviously, it's near the lows. A couple, what's the other one? PACW, kind of near the lows, but this WAL kind of hang in there, was well off the lows. So that, to me, if I'm going with this play, by the way, also Schwab, but Schwab's not even acting that well. I just think it's too saturated with funds, and it's actually too thick of a stock. I don't know how else to put it. But this wall was the speculative play that I'm playing. So I want to trade more of it, and I want to be more active in it, but it's Weight Watchers killing me. It's Foot Locker. I think I traded that well. Look at the Foot Locker. 47 to 41, and this ON has earnings tonight, and I took ON off because it's in the sneaker category, and I sold it, and I wanted to take it into earnings. Lotto play. It's been acting very well, but the Foot Locker turnaround kind of bothers me. And this ON is one of, even Coach knows about. It's one of these good stocks. It's almost this ON was in this MBLY group that Coach asked me about. And there's smart money in here, but I think the stock should have. I wanted it to pop more. I wish there was some speculation to build up in it, so it can give me a cushion. Right now, I'm up a half a point in it from like 2140, but the stock's going to move 10-20%. And that's not enough for me to play a lotto. I'd rather take the money that I'm up in and buy it on a dip or whatever. You know what I mean? So keep an eye on the onion. That's the part of the earnings group. I did post that this morning. I'm going to leave it there. Any other questions? Fine. I'll get back to everybody. Let's go to my main Twitter feed part. I was up early. What's about the 50-day 5? Anything, full of credit. The Rev market strength will make the Fed more comfortable with some hawkishness on Wednesday's right. I'll put a like. INSW, SPY, and the 200-day is noise. So where's the SPY? My man tells me here's the SPY. Now we'll leave it at this. Back again, stock picking, range bound, the SPY right against the 200-day. Now that obviously is the 50-day. So it's like one of those levels that I talked about. We were between here, 409 and, like 390, 400 before that breakdown. I thought we were going to consolidate for a while and then actually move up as the NASDAQ did, the Qs. But now the SPYs are at that level. It's yet to be determined. Did the Qs go higher as the SPYs recover, or do they rotate to where the SPYs go higher and the Qs go lower? And believe me, that's not a Three Stooges situation. That's what I mean. So SPYs, take a look what's rotating. Microsoft still down 6. Apple's up nicely. But what's up to today? The oils are helping. Johnson and Johnson, Target, Disney, making a nice move up. All right, for the family. Never made that lower low. We're not out of the woods, but I do like the fact that it had nice news. It's going, going below, cutting below that trend line. And the 8-day, which is the real short-term day, is what, 93.85. It's above it. So let's see. We will go to the weekly. Any confirmation there? No, there's still overhead pressure, but we got a little bit of a cushion in Disney. I wouldn't micromanagement unless something macro happens with the market. So Disney's acting well with the SPY recovery. You get the picture, you know what I mean? So I'll leave it there. So as I leave off a little before 11:30 on the first day of the week, trading week, Monday. Keep in mind it's the Fed speak on Wednesday, and market movers right here. It's our stock page on TradeGATEHub, as we want to make this eventually the one-stop shop, one-stop site. So we don't have to go in my eyes. I don't have to go on any other sites. So there's the gainers for the day. If you're interested in why something's moving, like BIOC, guy right here, punch up the stock. You don't like what's doing in the last 3 minutes, 1 minute? Top US gainers. Let's look at the top US losers, and let's go by the price change, percent change. Credit Suisse, no surprises up there. So you want to go to charts? You want to just go to news? You want to mute me? Sometimes my wife does. You want to know what's going on big news of the day? Just punch the top news tab. Global headlines 1 minute ago. Stocks 4 minutes ago. All this news is curated to the fact I have the luxury and the privilege of being able to curate it myself with the marketing and the hierarchy of TradeView, and curate what's most important, predicated upon my Twitter feed. So we want to make this. You want to punch up news? Punch up news right here. There's the up and down all throughout the morning and throughout. You want to punch up the charts? Punch up our chart tab. They'll give you everything. Really, they did an excellent job. We don't use this or even push it enough as we do, but it's really great, a great amount. You want to go back to the stock room, you go back to the home tab, you say, good job, Mike V. You really want to know and get to know, you really want to get to know us, you go to the red YouTube button, and you'll find almost going to be 2 years now of daily videos by Coach and I and all these guests that we have. So listen, we're getting fast and furious and lean and mean as we're starting to show how where we stand at TradeView Markets. As sometimes some firms trip a little bit. I don't want to bring up a good situation out of a bad, out of a good point out of a bad situation, but I guess numbers don't lie, and we're going to keep you to get viewers and bring you winners here. So I'll sign off now at TradeView Market site. One more point: if the TradeGATEHub site tab brings you all of this, that what I just showed you before, meaning news in this whole universe of stocks and all the financial instruments, just look at what all the other tabs could do on TradeView Markets. Poke around. I mean, with the best spreads out there. Any questions? Ask me, ask any member of our team, email us. There are dozens of people always online in several languages. So until then, thank you for tuning in. Have a plan.